I've been selling Bitcoin in order to buy more altcoins. Why? Well, just look at these altcoin charts. None of these topped at the end of last year when the Bitcoin price did. In fact, 95% of the altcoin market topped the year before that, suggesting that altcoins don't follow Bitcoin and have actually been following something else. By understanding this, we can identify that the altcoins are much more likely to have bottomed already and will continue to begin rising from here much more aggressively than the Bitcoin price. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what the altcoins have been following and why we know that it's going to continue to rise from here. I'm also going to tell you which altcoins are likely to see some of the earliest growth so that we can maybe try and get some of those early gains. Do me a favor, hit the like button, and let's get into today's video. Now guys, I know what most people are thinking. You must be insane. Why are you selling Bitcoin in order to buy altcoins? Haven't you realized that over the past few years, the Bitcoin price has massively outperformed most of the altcoin market? Well, yeah, that's kind of the point. You see, altcoins have indeed had a really tough time of it, and the Bitcoin price in general hasn't really been bad. It's only down 50% from previous highs, and it's actually up 300% from the 2022 low. And something unusual is showing on the Bitcoin chart, as well as what's showing across the altcoins. Before we dive in and find out about which altcoins I'm focused into right now, let's understand a little bit about the bigger picture here, and why altcoins may well be one of the best trading opportunities that we have seen in crypto in literally the last decade. You see, in 2021, the Bitcoin price topped out in November, and then it came down over the course of a year, bottoming in November of 2022. From around $16,000, the Bitcoin price then rallied all the way up nearly 8x to $126,000 in October of last year. Then from there, it's come down around 50% and is currently just sitting in and around that zone. But what's pretty odd is what happened to the altcoins during this period of time, because it was completely different from what happened to the altcoins during this period of time. Let me show you some examples. This is ICP, a popular coin with a lot of people. It hit a low in September of 2023 at like $2. It then comes up, does a 10x pretty much, hits a high in March 2024. From that top, it comes down 26% to hit a high in December of 2024. And by November of 2025, the high is down 53%. Render, another popular token, hits a high in March of 2024, and then puts in a lower high December 2024. And then by October, when Bitcoin sees that top, Render is down nearly 74%. Uniswap, same story. Tau Bitenza, WorldCoin, Grass. And you're thinking, well, yeah, but what about the bigger tokens? Well, Solana topped out January 2025 and then puts down a 14.7% down, lower high. XRP falls nearly 18% to when Bitcoin had that high. Cardano fell, AVAX fell, HBAR fell, you name it. Okay, altcoins had a really tough time after 2024. They didn't top in 2025. Therefore, they're not following Bitcoin. They're following something else. And back in 2021, they were also following something else. The only difference is in 2021, Bitcoin was following that same thing. But now Bitcoin isn't following that same thing, and it hasn't been since 2022, meaning that altcoins may well be more predictable going forward than Bitcoin, at least in the shorter term. Here's what I mean. You see, on the bottom is the ISM Manufacturing Index. And no, I don't think that Bitcoin or altcoins in general just follow the ISM, but they both benefit from similar conditions in the global markets. Let me explain. The ISM is a manufacturing index. When it is green and in expansion, it shows that there is lots of manufacturing going on. Why is there lots of manufacturing? Well, because lots of people out there have lots of money. Lots of businesses are expanding and growing. Lots of people out there are buying new stuff because they got new jobs, they got money to spend. They want to buy new cars, they want to buy a new house. They're buying new stuff for their garden, whatever it is. All of that stuff needs to be made. And when they've got lots of money and they're buying lots of things, all of the manufacturing starts to go up as well. So when manufacturing goes up, people have got more money. And when people have got more money, they like to go and bet and gamble on things. They got more disposable income. Therefore, they go after things like crypto. This is why in the past, when the ISM has gone from red to green, we see a bull market. This happened 2016 into 2017. You then see a bear market coming like this. Then you see a low, like this one here, 2019, that then leads into a bull market expansion phase. You even get, if you look closely in here, the first kind of major expansion phase, which is in line with this. Here in April 2021, you then get a lower high, which comes in here on the ISM. in October of 2021 that kind of lines up basically with what happens here, and then you seem to crash into a bear market. But this is where things go a little bit off, and it all gets a little bit weird, because Bitcoin was following a nice cycle on the ISM over the past few years. But then that cycle broke, for Bitcoin at least. You see, Bitcoin carried on going up during this period of time, when the ISM remained under 50. Suggesting that the ISM manufacturing index was in contraction during this time. And why was it in contraction, I hear you cry? Well, because we saw quantitative tightening during that time. We saw the Federal Reserve balance sheet shrinking. We saw high interest rates. All of these things suggest that you don't want to be expanding your business. It also suggests that normal people out there don't have as much money. Okay, so manufacturing goes down. This means that in general, lots of assets go down during this time. Gold in that time kind of goes up as a hedge against risk. And maybe that was part of the narrative that drove Bitcoin during this time. But actually, what I think we saw, if you can think back to kind of this period of time and this period of time and then this period of time, is simply kind of other catalysts, other narratives in the market that people were getting a bit hyped about. Because Bitcoin here was very different from what it was back then. You see, this time, no one even knew about crypto. It was shunned by every famous person out there. No one really wanted anything to do with it. All of a sudden, you see the big banks, you see BlackRock talking about ETFs. You then hear about Donald Trump basing his presidential campaign about crypto and trying to bring back crypto and make the US #1. This basically ETFs. This was Donald Trump winning the election, then getting into office. And then we have kind of final blow off top, excitement coming about, kind of Clarity Act and whatever else that never eventually showed up. And ultimately, during this time of compression of economy, Bitcoin kind of went up when really it should have probably just been trending sideways, like pretty much all the crypto market did. Because if I swap out Bitcoin for just ICP as an example, you can see what happened. We had downtrend following the red. We then have this green bit, okay, sudden kind of push above, look, in line with the ICP top. Okay, we then go down again into the red. We then kind of push up. Price tops out a little bit before the ISM kind of tops out here. ICP then comes down. And then you kind of have this kind of like final spike in here, but ultimately nothing particularly special. And right now you're seeing the ISM climbing again. ICP seems to have kind of flattened off, seemingly kind of bottomed in and around here. So the question everyone's asking is, has Bitcoin bottomed? The question I'm asking is, have altcoins bottomed? Because the Bitcoin bottoming question is surrounded with a lot of on-chain data and information. We'll talk about that in just a moment, because there's a few very clear signals showing up that I think are worth paying attention to. But ultimately, the altcoins have been following macro patterns, and this pretty much proves it. On the top, you've got the others versus Bitcoin chart, and on the bottom, you have copper versus gold, and in the middle, you have the ISM manufacturing index. ISM goes from red to green. You see copper and gold go up. Same with others versus Bitcoin. Okay, and then you end up in this kind of period of red. Others versus Bitcoin go down. Same with copper versus gold going down. Manufacturing going down. Okay, so remember, copper used in manufacturing, gold being the hedge against risk and whatever else. Copper goes up when the economy is strong, copper goes down, and gold goes up when the economies are weaker. Then you can see others versus Bitcoin basically bottoms out here, June 2025. Okay, and then you can see copper versus gold basically bottoms out, similar time, rounds off in a very similar chart. ISM is now in the green, and you can see from the end of last year, which is pretty much here, sort of December time, others versus Bitcoin is up 28%. Now I know during that period of time we've seen Bitcoin struggling, and altcoins still do have a tie to Bitcoin performance. We know that. Okay, but what we're seeing right now is a very different scenario from what we saw throughout the last few years, where we had a Bitcoin only bull market. Because what we're seeing here is anticipation of an expansion. We are already seeing the Federal Reserve balance sheet increasing. If I replace this line here with balance sheet, you can see what I mean. Again, look at copper, starts to expand upwards as the Federal Reserve balance sheet is in expansion. Now, we're not seeing specific quantitative easing. What we are seeing is the printing of treasury bills and everything else. But this bull market was 2021. This was caused by expansion. This bear market caused by contraction. Bitcoin went up during that time, perhaps because it was being treated like gold, a hedge against risk, speculation on ETFs and whatever else. But ultimately, my focus is the fact that the altcoins have been mirroring pretty much what's being seen on this Federal Reserve balance sheet. And what we can start to do is predict a little bit more about where this is going to be moving. Now, we know that the Straits of Hormuz have been a bit of a problem point over the past few months, but that's obviously started to calm things down. We're seeing oil prices coming down. We'll see inflation coming down. Inflation down, you're likely going to start seeing interest rates coming down. We're seeing a lot more productivity from AI, which is generating a lot more excitement and potentially allows cutting of rates while inflation is maybe slightly higher than it was previously. ISM numbers continue to come out being above 50. This is another green light telling us that the economy is moving towards risk on. So while everyone's panicked and worried about what the Bitcoin price is doing, really the altcoins in general are bottoming versus Bitcoin and will continue to look stronger versus Bitcoin, especially if Bitcoin itself finds a bottom. So has the Bitcoin price found its bottom? Well, in order to find out that, we should probably look at some on-chain data. And I know everyone's like, oh, he's just going to show us more and more charts. Well, when you've got so many charts to show that prove that the bottom is probably in, well, I will continue to show more. So first up is simply this. Bitcoin price bottomed here February at around $60,000, something like that. And then it put in a slightly lower low there, as you can see, lower low. But then on the RSI, or Relative Strength Index, it has gone up. So this is a bullish divergence, suggesting that the momentum into here was more severe than the momentum into here. And I mean, if you just simply look at the shape of this chart, you can see very aggressive selling, starts to kind of like aggressive selling again. Then it starts to ease off. Okay, you get back down to this zone. We don't really manage to break that low. Right now, we're sitting above that low, suggesting this could well be the accumulation zone, suggesting that we could have had already the Michael Saylor kind of drama the other day being like the FTX crash all the way back in like 2022. This is also a new one. Bitcoin number of days spent in profit, and the rainbow chart underneath basically shows you how many days the Bitcoin price has been higher than the current price. So when it's like blue and purple, it means that it's almost record number of days where Bitcoin has been worth more than it is right now. And that's typically what you see around the time that we start to see turns around. Okay, you can see we are here right now. Look, this was 2022, this was 2019. All of these align perfectly with the absolute bottoms. And then you can see short-term holder supply in massive loss right now. Again, this might not seem it, but it's actually bullish. When everyone's already at a loss, they've realized their losses, they've got out of the market, there's no one left to sell. If no one's left to sell, what pushes price down? Think about it, okay? And this to me means that Bitcoin is either already bottomed or is very close to being the bottom, judging by the on-chain data that I see. These signals have appeared time and time again over time. So to me, Bitcoin's near enough at the bottom. But one thing I'm certain of is that the others versus Bitcoin chart, which you can see, bottomed here over a year ago. So if Bitcoin continues to play around here and eventually it has a break up, I think the others versus Bitcoin chart is really going to break this sort of downtrend with some momentum and take a really big shove up towards the 0.22, and that will see a lot of excitement across the altcoin market. So which altcoins are going to catch some of the biggest growth? Now, before I talk about which altcoins I've been buying over the past few months and why, check out the link down below for Bitunix. Now, Bitunix is one of my favorite exchanges, particularly because they list every different altcoin that I personally talk about on this channel. So if you ever want different altcoins and things listed on that exchange and you want to be able to access them, leave comments down below, and if I see enough of those comments, I can speak to Bitunix and I can get those coins listed. Now, for that reason, Bitunix has huge numbers of different coins, so it's a great place to be able to trade buying and selling different altcoins. As well as that, they have various different competitions as well as whale groups and things like that. So make sure you sign up to this link down below, even if you don't want to buy and sell crypto right now, because in the future you could be able to win some of the different competitions that they have going on. Now guys, jumping across to Crypto Bubbles, we can see some good stuff has been happening over the past week. Now, if you caught my video just the other day, you would have heard me talking about finding altcoins that have got lots of cash in the bank. Because altcoins don't necessarily just go up because of narrative and story. Predominantly, they're going to go up a lot because they have money in the bank and a treasury that they can use to start getting their coin moving once more. And once that happens, then lots of other people will pile in and start buying it as well and give narrative reasons behind why something is going up. But in the shorter term, look towards the stronger ecosystems and coins. If you are already a fan of Ethereum, Cardano here, XLM, XRP, these big market cap coins, then yeah, buy them. You already are into them, whatever you do. Those coins, in my opinion, will outperform Bitcoin, but ultimately probably not being able to do more than a 4, 5, 6x, maybe over the next 6 to 18 months. In reality, I see a lot more growth opportunity from some of the mid-cap coins, which is a DEX on Base, very active chain, makes big revenue, like Jupiter. A DEX on Solana, again, makes decent revenue. And if you want to find out more about revenues and fees and daily active users and stuff, go to tokenterminal.com /explorer. Over here, you can go and find out more about some of these projects which have been making lots and lots of money and things like that. Because they've been making lots of money, first of all, they're going to be able to survive even if the market gets worse. And eventually, when the market warms up again, these coins are going to start booming. Also, go and check out DeFi Llama. There's a lot more details there on revenue generating projects and things like that. But ultimately, between these two websites, you can go and find coins that have got charts like grass that are down like 90% at a time, okay, and then all of a sudden have begun rising back up again. Now, grass is up around 222% from when we first talked about it on the channel all the way back in March. So if you missed that video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, I haven't got time to kind of really deep dive into some of these coins, so go and check out the video I made just the other day, and you're going to find out much more detail about how to identify stronger altcoins and things like that. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Leave a comment down below, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye-bye.